WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacy and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Welcome to West Virginia Uncommon Place. Stacy and I have been recording episodes. I'm talking about we got this whole format where we get in and do 8 shows or 5 shows in one sitting. So we batch content because it makes it easier to edit the episodes, have a certain process to it, have a smooth move to it. So it's not all rushed and just put out there for no reason. Don't want to put out content that doesn't make sense. And that's been a key thing for us for a while. But this episode right here, this episode is dedicated to the Nintendo, not the Sega, because the Sega wasn't around then, but the Nintendo, the Xbox, and the PlayStation. Now, me personally, everybody knows that I love the Nintendo Switch. Stacy and I have played all kinds of games with it. Fire Emblem Warriors, the one that you'll always hear me talk about first, but you'll hear Mario Party out of her mouth first. Mario Party is a Super Mario Party All-Stars, not the regular shits, just All-Stars. In the PlayStation, from her, it will be Hogwarts, and she had a game called Knack that she played. Kind of reminded me of Katamari to a degree, and everybody knows Katamari. And then the Xbox. As long as her and I have been in a relationship, the Xbox has been a media player. We buy them, we put Blu-rays in them, we watch her streaming stuff on them. I play games on them, she doesn't. So we have an ecosystem for everything that goes on there and processes that go on. The Xbox gets to go on the road. PlayStation 5, because it was so hard to get it, it don't go nowhere. And the Nintendos, we treat the Nintendos pretty bad. We carry them everywhere. We got 3 Switches. So, we use them. She has a Switch Lite also that she used to play Animal Crossing on, because Animal Crossing was a big pandemic thing for us. And we immerse ourselves in games. We collect them. We collect them so bad that some of them don't even come out the package. Some of them we just look at and man, I want to play it. If the demo is available digitally, I'll play it. But if outside of that, not going to play it. The dying art, though, inside of these video games are co-op games. Games that 2 people can play together. We don't want to play fighting games all the time, even though I want to play fighting games most of the time. She don't want to play Street Fighter every day, or at all. So, my question inside this episode is this, because this is another why episode, is what happened to co-op games? What happened to those fun GoldenEye, or Iggy's Wrecking Ball, or whatever the fuck it's called? What happened to these fun games that you could play? Because on the Nintendo 64, 4 people knew they automatically could play.
Right, they need to bring Iggy to the Switch.
Right. Get the licensing right, or just anything in general. When I don't play Nintendo systems, I play alone. There's no PlayStation games we play together. There's no... we got wrestling games, but I'm not talking about sports games. I'm talking about, something that's fun. On the Switch, there's enough games that we play together. Super Mario 3D Land... Super Mario Deluxe, and I know it ties in a lot to Super Mario, and then any of the Warrior games, be it Zelda or Fire Emblem, and we tried that one Samurai Warriors, but we didn't like that shit. But my concern with the video game companies and my issue with them is why can't 2 people, 3 people, 4 people sit at home locally and play good games anymore? Why do we have to be on the internet and everybody have a console and everybody play Friday the 13th, but everybody's got to own the game and we're playing on the internet? I would have loved to play Friday the 13th with some people, play 4 screens or 3 screens, 2 on top, 1 on the bottom, and somebody will be chasing it and I chase them. Same thing with Evil Dead. I will not purchase Evil Dead because there's no couch co-op. The only co-op there is online. And yeah, that game's selling for $11 here and there. But once again, it'll come a point where the servers will go down, just like Friday the 13th. So my question to these big companies and all this stuff, and my why is, why not let us be entertained in home? Why do we have to put so much money into half-developed games and just half-assedness in general? Because even when we do get co-op and it's local, anything new now is fucking trash. Like, I sit there and try to play racing games. The only racing game we can stomach is NASCAR. And even playing NASCAR, me and the little nephew, we enjoy it, but then we turn that shit right off and go back to wrestling. Or go back and play Madden. There ain't no adventure game. Like, I know that It Takes Two.
You and your little buddy love the wrestling game.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it's Take-Two and all those other games like that, but I don't want no wholesome fun. I want to be able to roll out with my partner like we do on Gears of War and blow up them ships, kill them monsters, do whatever we do. But, in time that stuff will happen. So, in a roundabout way, keep going on with this and just leave it simple like this. The why of this episode is simple. Why can't we play at home? And lastly, downloadable content. I'll have to do an episode on this later, but downloadable content has been the worst thing that has ever come to games in this instance. When I play a game is never complete. My best example is Outer Worlds. I played Outer Worlds. I beat that game straight through. It was the last game I sat down and I put hours into every day after work. Every day. I did that with Assassin's Creed at one point during the pandemic. But this game, then I beat Outer Worlds, and then I found out that there's more content to play because you got to go buy it. When I was a young kid, you may have paid $70 for a game because the price of games hasn't changed. Games were $69 back in the 90s. But when I played that game, I knew that I didn't need no update. I didn't need nothing patched or fixed. The game was made according to what it needs to. It wasn't made with fucking training wheels. And that's what's happening to gaming. People make these games with training wheels. Oh, it might be an alpha mode or beta. We'll just put that shit out anyway and we'll patch it to death until we get it right. That's the case for No Man's Sky, I guess. Because No Man's Sky is a great game now, but when it first came out, nobody was talking about it. But anyway, no more on that tangent. I just want to leave this here. You make games, you make them for multiplayer, but include the co-op at home, the couch co-op, as they always say, the couch co-op. I had to pronounce that properly. We want that back. We want to be able to enjoy video games at home. We don't want to have to sit around and play sports games or worry about playing the latest Call of Duty. We want to play some adventure games. I want to explore a world that I've never been to, but I want to do it with my friends.
As older generations do.
Yeah, older generations. So on that note, I am JR, and this is the co-op episode that's part of the Y series. Keep listening, keep following, and just let me know what your thoughts are on this whole video game epidemic. And on that note, I'm JR.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.